Yeah, we back. Now, this was going to be a Patreon exclusive, but I felt that I had to just raise some awareness on certain things, right? Now, on my channel, when I say things like the adversary, the enemy, I'm not playing no games when I say that. Now, in today's video, we're going to examine a case study of the adversary in action, right? A live action case study of the adversary carrying out his mission. So today, this social media account came across my attention, right? A gentleman named Ryan Cummings. He's living in Cape Town, South Africa. He is the director of a company named Signal Risk, which specializes in risk management on the African continent. He is also the co-founder of another company named My Travel Risk, which I guess something about safety and travel information. And he is also a senior associate at CSIS Africa program, which conducts sustained, timely research and analysis on the major elements of United States policy towards Africa. Okay. Now, first things first, brothers, we have to understand that we have these guys all over the continent. You have all these strange characters with connections to all these international organizations, and they're just chilling in a random African country. If you've seen them in the street, you probably would think they're just a tourist or they're just an expat. But meanwhile, they're a whole agent for the CIA. They're a whole agent for the DGSE, right? The French international intelligence. And in fact, if you remember, I did that story where the captain himself actually detained 3 French intelligence agents that actually came to Burkina Faso under the cover of, oh, we are computer technicians. You remember that story? Take a look up on the screen. Back in December, a few months ago, Burkina Faso frees 4 French spies after Moroccan mediation. Burkina Faso releases 4 French nationals after detaining them for a year. So what I'm saying is we have these guys just roaming all over the continent, brother, interacting with the locals, doing their thing, eating the local foods. This is real life, brothers. It's not a video game. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's talk about this guy right here, right? So I examined his social media, and let's go back to last summer, right? His first tweet about the captain comes up sometime last summer, last July. He says this: Traoré will be overthrown before Burkina Faso holds its long-awaited elections. Mark my words. Now, why is a random expat living in South Africa talking about mark my words, we're going to topple the regime? Bro, okay. Anyway, like I said, that's the first thing he ever said about the captain ever in his life. Anyway, let's continue. Last July, he went on to say, the center of power has just pivoted from Paris to Moscow, and we are made to believe that these are some Pan-Africanist revolutionaries. Wagner, at best, could protect and extract Traoré from what on the daily appears to be growing discontentment in the ranks of the armed forces. Now listen, brothers, this is a random expat with a travel company who lives in South Africa. He not even in the Sahel. He all the way down in Cape Town with the big booty women. Listen, he not even nowhere near the Sahel. He talking about, listen, mark my words, the regime will be toppled. Let's continue. Last August, he said this: in Burkina Faso, the Al-Qaeda-aligned JNIM extremist group has massacred as many as 300 civilians in the center-north region town of Barcelago. The attack came despite the government of Ibrahim Traoré receiving a 24-hour warning that it would occur. Now, how does he know that the terrorist was going to strike 24 hours before they... Bro, this a random tourist in Cape Town with a travel company. And why does he sound like he's almost celebrating the deaths of our people? Like, anyway, let's continue. Back in March, a couple months ago, he said this: interesting fact about Ibrahim Traoré, aka the Timu Thomas Sankara. He had 2 people arrested yesterday for commenting on a Facebook post in which they challenged some of the amazing feats Burkina Faso has achieved under his rule. Now, somebody came into the comment section, right? An intelligent black man was like, listen, can you provide the source? I would like to read the information. And then he quoted a link from an article that was published by Human Rights Watch, the Western-based NGO that is headquartered in New York City that we already debunked last week. Like, listen, brother, my God, the adversary is in live action. Let's continue. Then he responded to the person and said, also, a few months ago, Traoré was given a heads up of an extremist attack on a village in the center-north region of Burkina Faso. He made the village people dig trenches under duress to protect it against the militant incursion. The next day, they were slaughtered by jihadists. Then he said, here is the article about the trenches. And then he quotes an article from Le Monde newspaper, the French media-based newspaper that is headquartered in Paris. And then he posted a link from another media company RFI, which is also the French state-owned media company, right? The media that is owned by the French government. So when the brother asked him to verify his claims, verify his slander, he quoted the media that is owned by the French government. Anyway, let's continue. A couple months ago, he went on to say, the government of Burkina Faso's quote-unquote gallant Ibrahim Traoré is now claiming that former Burkina soldiers, Islamist extremists, Western states, and regional governments are all conspiring together to overthrow the transitional administration. Now, the captain did say that. I did a video on that too. The captain did say it was former Burkina soldiers that he fired that were probably doing the bidding of the adversary. So he dismissed them from the army, and rightfully so, working in collaboration with some terrorist elements and being offered protection by some regional governments, Ivory Coast, right? And we know Ivory Coast receives the diplomatic cover and the backing of Western states. So yes, the captain did say that. Yes, and the captain was speaking facts. See, the reason why they mad is because the captain, he talks to the people, right? So when y'all doing y'all thing, y'all playing y'all games, the captain, he the type of brother, he gonna go on Facebook Live with it. He gonna go on live like, listen, I'm gonna talk to my family, right? Listen, this is what they doing. The captain, he the type of brother, he gonna make a speech and let us know everything that's going on behind the scenes. That's why y'all mad. See, that's why y'all angry, and I understand. Now, let's continue. Early this morning, he said this. There are a lot of reports circulating of a coup being underway in Ivory Coast. The disinformation is being propagated by the same Russian-sponsored accounts who have been spreading fake news about the charlatan who is Ibrahim Traoré. Now listen, this is like I said, I have to remind you, this is a expat with a travel company, okay? This is an expat living in South Africa, and he has a travel company. But he is so invested. He's just so invested in toppling the regime of the captain, right? Every time the captain takes a loss, he celebrates. Every time the terrorists kill innocent civilians, he tries to use it as a gotcha moment against the captain. Telling you, brothers, when I tell you we got adversaries, y'all think I'm just talking on the microphone, man. We got adversaries for real, brothers. It's real life for real, brothers. But anyway, back to what he said about the alleged coup in Ivory Coast. I did hear, some fake news going around that there was a attempted coup in Ivory Coast, but currently the president of Ivory Coast, he's not even in the country right now. He's currently in France, right? He's currently in France getting medical attention over in France, right? I know. Yeah, like I said, this is the life of a Western stooge. So yeah, when I seen that fake news, I was like, man, Ouattara not even in the country, right? So he not even over there. His brother probably running the country right now when he's gone. His brother is the minister of defense. So his brother probably really running the country. He over in France, kicking it. So anyway, he went on to say, it's nonetheless interesting why Ivory Coast is a particular focus of these disinformation campaigns. It coincides with reports that the United States military are in preliminary discussions with Alassane Ouattara regarding the hosting of a military base within Ivorian borders. Now, link in the description, pin comment at the top, join the Patreon. Today, I'm going to be dropping that video. Yeah, news going around that the United States is looking to set up a military base, a drone base in Ivory Coast. As you already know, last year they were kicked out of their drone base in Niger. Now they are repositioning themselves to Ivory Coast. That's what the reports are alleging. So go over to that Patreon, and we're going to be discussing what that means for our brothers in the Sahel, what that means for the geopolitical landscape in the region, and what interests are at play. Anyway, he went on to say, a United States military presence in Ivory Coast will pose a check on Russian influence, which has entrenched itself within the military-led states of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, with Moscow and its Wagner Group henchmen seeking to increase its control of the artisanal gold resources. Now listen, I don't gotta say nothing. Obviously, you can tell this man is working in the service of U.S. international intelligence, okay? He is simply posing under the cover of an expat who has a travel company, but a real expat who had a travel company who is living in South Africa amongst all those beautiful big booty women. You would not be this stressed out and this invested about what's going on all the way in the Sahel. You're a random American expat with a travel company. You would be focused on expanding your company, getting new clients. You'll be focused on intermingling with the beautiful women, but instead you are over here night and day obsessed over what the captain is doing. You are an agent and we see right through you. You are a bozo and you are a goofy. And it's crazy because the captain just dropped the interview where he always talks about the fact that they use Russia as a cover to justify any of their geopolitical objectives. Oh, we're doing this because of Russia. But like I said before, These brothers have relationships with a variety of different nations. They engage in commerce with a variety of different nations. It's not just one nation. And on top of that, what is this recent obsession with Burkina Faso's gold reserves? I've been walking the earth my entire life, and let me tell you, brother, nobody has ever mentioned Burkina Faso's gold. Nobody has ever had a conversation. I've never heard any of us talking about Burkina Faso's gold until these past recent weeks. Never has anybody was talking about Burkina Faso's gold when Blaise Compaoré was in power for over 75,000 years, like I mentioned before. Now, all of a sudden, we are obsessed with where the gold is going. Now, of course, like I told you, the price of gold is skyrocketing at the moment, right? The price of gold is skyrocketing at the moment. At the same exact time, the brothers is snatching back the gold mine. So, listen, the reason why they mad is because as the price of gold is shooting through the sky, right? And they already know that between Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, it's like damn near like 35 large-scale gold mines in those three countries alone. And Burkina Faso got like 17 large-scale gold mines by itself. And I'm only talking about the large-scale industrial-sized gold mines. We're not talking about the little, small-scale, medium-scale gold mines. If you want to add those in, that's going to increase the total by a whole lot more. Probably talking hundreds of gold mines, probably maybe even thousands. And we already know back in the end of 2023, the captain began construction on that gold refinery. And if you remember on the interview that he did a couple weeks ago, he said before he came to power, the country didn't even have a national gold reserve until he came to power, right? Now, all of a sudden, they obsessed with the gold now. Now, all of a sudden, we got random expats in South Africa. They worried about the gold. Anyways, he went on to say, Langley and Lieutenant Ouattara reportedly had a meeting on the 24th of April where there were suggestions that United States drones could be operating from Bouaké Airport. I think it's an initial step to a more formal U.S. military presence in Ivory Coast. Expect more movement on this after the October polls. Now, take a look up on the screen. As you can see, this is General Michael Langley as well as Lieutenant Ouattara, the Minister of Defense, as well as the little brother of the president of Ivory Coast. And this is photos from their meeting from a couple weeks ago. But yeah, man, like I said, brothers, we have these type of characters all over the continent. All over the continent, man. And they have all these weird jobs and occupations. In this case, this guy, he has a travel company. Other guys, I work for an NGO. And it's not only the intelligence of the United States. Like I said, the captain, when he arrested those intelligence agents, they were from France. So it's intelligence agents from a variety of Western countries all over the continent, brother. And they hide under all these weird covers. I work for an NGO. I'm an academic researcher, right? I'm a businessman, entrepreneur. I work in agriculture. There's another guy on Twitter as well. Some random white guy living in Zambia working in agriculture. And when you go to his Twitter profile, he doing the same thing, slandering the captain, insulting the captain, disrespecting the captain. Meanwhile, he just a random expat engaged in agriculture out in Zambia. It's so crazy. But that's the reality, brothers. That is the reality. The adversary comes in all shapes and forms. And if you take a look at this guy, you can tell that he's not all the way ethnic European. You could tell it's something going on with him. It must be like he might be like one of those like mixes, those mixed breeds, because he has like an Anglo-Saxon name, but he has like I don't know, is he like half Asian, half European? I don't know. He mixed with something. But like I said, he's operating in the service of the Western imperialists regardless. So I'm going to assume he probably got a white father or something. I don't know. But anyway, regardless, he is the adversary and we have to recognize the adversary. And like I said, we have a bunch of these guys all over the continent. That's why you never let them gaslight you and tell you, go back to Africa, go back to your country. Meanwhile, these guys all over Africa. They obsessed with Africa. The same ones telling you to go back to Africa, get out of my country. They refuse to leave the continent. They don't want to leave the continent. So don't let them ever gaslight you with that nonsense. They telling you to go back to Africa. Meanwhile, they themselves are going to Africa to destabilize Africa and rob Africa. But they're telling you to go back to Africa, get out of my country, bro. Get out of here. I'll spit in your face. Anyways, man, it's your boy Nevercard Desaline, man. And I'm gone. Peace. Go to that Patreon, support the channel, support the album, NTD1814, support the album, Sahel 1816. Go to my homepage, go to my playlist section, enjoy the album, and I'm gone. Peace.
Told me she loved me and said that it's real. So independent, ain't signing no deal. Feel like a king and I'm up at Cap Henry. I'm in the citadel, top of the hill. Trying to run up and we let off a cannon. Secret location, I'm keeping it sealed. You ain't retaliate, Franco Medina. Came to the country and he got killed. You ain't retaliate, Rafi Mans. Thought you was loyal, thought you was real. Didn't even want to come pick up the body. Had your man locked up, he died in the cell. Up at the palace, I'm throwing a party. Right on the south and I'm giving them hell. And my little shorty, she looking exotic. African features, she casting a spell. Run to the check like I work on my fitness. Wake up each morning and handle my business. Said that she love me, she want my genetics. Wanna get married and make it official. Wanna get married and have my babies. Up in the city, I'm riding Mercedes. Up in the city, they treat me like royalty. Feeling like Dolph, talking about lords. Spreading my wings and I had to get fly. Up at the top, an incredible vibe. Came from the bottom, I'm up in the sky. Give one look and said, baby, you fine. Wake up each morning and handle my business. They just be talking, you see me, I live it. Ride on my enemies, sounding like thunder. 1804, got that shit in my spirit. 1804 when I step in the building. 1804, and that's word of my mother. Rock my women and die for my brother. Never gon' fold when I'm deep under pressure. Tell them we back and they better accept it. Move like a king, every step is divine. Ride on my enemies with no exception. Taking revenge and I'm taking what's mine. Pour up a drink and it's time that we toast. Watching my back, keep my enemies close. Only the family, I stick with my brothers. Candace position outside of the coast. Heavy artillery for the protection. Move like a general, stick to the code. Feel like a king when I'm up in the north. Beautiful women, they trying to get chose. Launch an invasion all over the south. Capture the capital with all my woes. Look at my energy and my demeanor. Dripping that ice and that's head to my toes. Lately I'm flexing all on the Americans. Flexing my muscle on missing my road. Just got a carriage, just coming from London. Boy, that shit cash, I ain't taking no loans. Boy, that shit cash, that's fresh on the boat. Enemy know I got millions in gold. Enemy know I got choppers and cannons. How did I do it? They can't understand it. How did I do it? It's cause I'm relentless. Call me King Harry, my name is cemented. Call me King Harry, I'm up in the palace. Call me King Harry, I'm raising the status.